Man, Blue Notes.
Byron, how's it going, man?
Man, I'm great, man. What's up?
It's good, man. Over here in the rainy, sunny Orlando area. Good weather. How about you? How's the weather over there?
Man, I weather trash all the time, bro. It rains like twice a week, bro.
For real?
Yeah, look, one of your followers, Brandon, my guy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got one.
Oh, you
But
got
yeah,
hard
man.
eyes?
But listen, I wanted to tell you, I
They throwing
appreciate
hard
you.
eyes at you. It's the curls, bro.
Oh, yeah? You know what? It's always something, man. When I did it with T-Rob, that somebody said something about my eyebrows. Now it's the curls. It's always something, man.
Oh, so this ain't new to you?
Mm-mm. Nah, honestly, it's not, man.
So what's up, man? So, man, we got some pretty good topics today, man. You got some real good stuff that I think people's gonna enjoy today.
For sure, for sure. So, yeah. I mean, so I know I told you before, but I was definitely preparing for this. So I hope everybody here gets some value.
Right.
And I'm gonna be giving that script too. So guys, I also
Los, look, Carlos, man, we gotta salute to Carlos.
Oh yeah, big Los, man.
Everybody bow down, man. Carlos jumped in.
Bow down to the Los, the drip god, man.
Man, Carlos, man, appreciate that event, bro. I'm head spinning, starting to implement some stuff. So so it's 8:05, man. We could go ahead and get started. Hey, Shannon Properties, go ahead and introduce yourself, Brandon.
Yeah, guys. So my name is Brandon. I'm 26. I actually just started wholesaling about two and a half years ago. I live in Orlando, Florida, and I started off literally wholesaling from home, kind of learn on YouTube, putting out banner signs for a national wholesaler. And once I trusted the process and learned, I was definitely sold. And then I started learning more of the marketing side, how to be able to kind of get deals under contract off market. And from there, kind of been head down, trying to get this thing going and get as many deals as I can consistently.
Consistently.
I think that's the key word, consistently.
So about that, because we got our 3 topics that we're gonna cover. But consistently, to close deals consistently, what is the main thing to make that happen? What would you say?
I think to close deals consistently is trusting the process and making daily goals. So I believe in daily goals. And what I mean by that is literally writing down. So if today you need to drive for dollars, I think that you should set aside a couple hours and literally say, hey, listen, I need to get 10 properties on my list today, and I'm not going to stop until I get these 10 properties. Because I feel like it's so easy to get distracted, number one. And number two, I feel like the mind is very, we're used to getting paid by corporate America as soon as we clock in. And when we drive for dollars,
we were just talking about that, right? You don't get paid for your time, you get paid for your results. And
yes,
the value you bring. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think consistency is more of something to help you out. Is I would say daily goals, making daily goals, and holding yourself accountable to them.
Got you. And I would probably add in marketing consistently. You got to market consistently as well.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
so,
yeah.
What was your hardest part, bro? What would you say your hardest part was? To get to like consistent,
Yeah, I mean, I think my hardest part, honestly, is the fear of going back to how it used to be, right? Because let's just say you start making money, and then you start noticing that the only way to scale is that you have to really dump more money into marketing most of the time, or start hiring and doing what you want to do to be able to automate the business. And it's like, literally, guys, what you don't understand is that a couple of marketing campaigns, you might be back to square one.
Eat your ass up real quick, right?
Yeah, you'll be like, wait, hold on, we're moving too fast. So
yeah, man.
I think it humbles you a lot. And like going back to what you were saying, I think it's just being finding systems that help out. Obviously, I know Carlos is in here, so Carlos and Sal, they have great systems, and literally just learning systems and marketing and doing it consistently, even though sometimes it's not going to go the way you want it to go.
I know one thing, speaking of Carlos, I know one thing I got was, man, the importance of tracking those KPIs, gonna be honest, man. I used to just market and be like, you know, whatever. I know I'm making money.
Yeah.
Because you know me kind of playing with it, bro. Like that's a way to burn through a budget right there. Just like
Quick.
you don't know what's working and what's not. You know, you just
Yeah,
kind of
quick.
you know, so you can't really refine it. So man, let's get on this these topics real quick. I know that's kind of like general to how specific we're gonna get right now, but one of the things that kind of sparked this and talking about this is I've seen a big group. They was going back and forth. It was a big wholesale group. People was arguing and going back and forth on pulling ARV, pulling comps. We know everybody kind of have their own way of doing it. You know, it's an art. It's not really a science. Because you ask 10 different realtors, you know, how to pull comps. I mean, well, what's the ARV? They're all going to give you 10 different, you know, and same as the buyers. The buyers, if you go say, hey, this is the deal, you know, they're all going to value it, you know, differently.
Definitely, yeah, 100%.
Look, Max, why are you playing with me, bro? Oh my God, this house bomb.
Who is it?
Max. Clown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, as far as comps go, the way I run comps, and I mean, I am also a realtor, so it kind of is a little bit easier on me. You know, I did learn going into those little MLS classes and all of that, how to run comps. But doing it traditionally, let's just say if you don't have MLS access, I use sometimes PropertyShark.com. You do have to subscribe with them, and you get, like, I believe, a couple properties to where you can comp out a month. But starting out, you know, I would use Property Shark, obviously the regular ones, Redfin, Trulia, Realtor.com, and Zillow. Right. And what I usually do is I try to get the property right. Number one is that I go to the county website, because a lot of the times those places, they don't have the actual you know, square footage and the bedrooms and baths. So what I tell people all the time is, like, go and get a house or buy a car, and you check your credit through Credit Karma, and then you get there, you're like, wait, hold on, I thought my credit score was this. Why are you telling me is it that?
Yeah, because that's not the most accurate source. Yeah, it's kind of like a third party.
Yes, 100%.
Equifax. Yeah.
Yes. So basically, what I like to do is go out a quarter mile, and within the last 180 days. But, you know, from appraiser standpoint, they have told me that I can go as far as a year, and then go out to about a mile. But I try to stay as close as I can to the property. And what I like to tell people is that I feel like when I'm selling a property to an investor, it's like literally going to court, right? So I'm trying to convince the jury, right, of why this property literally is worth 200 grand or 150 or whatever. So I'm trying to bring as much evidence as I can. So if I'm using a comp that's from a mile out that was literally sold a year ago, it's not going to be as valuable as a comp that literally sold
30 days
2 months ago. Yeah, whatever the case may be, and it's literally like on the next street over.
Right. So real quick, just to kind of jump in, yes, there is a right, accurate way to pull comps, right? But here's the thing. I do recommend everyone getting MLS access or a friendly realtor, an investor-friendly realtor that can run you accurate comps. But here's the thing. I don't think anyone should, you know, bash other people kind of how they get, you know, pull the comps when they're using these third-party sources, because everybody doesn't have MLS access. I can hop on my MLS right now and pull some, you know, comps and do it the right way. So we're going to talk about the actual most accurate way to do it, like you said. And then we're going to do some like quick and dirty ways to do it if you don't have MLS access, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's not gonna have MLS access, right?
Yeah, quick and dirty. Yep.
And the thing is, I mean, you don't need to have MLS access to really you know, make money, you know, because at the end of the day, I feel like it's your buyer's due diligence to run their numbers. Now, if you're the one buying it and you're doing a fix and flip, you better get the right comps.
Yeah,
know?
yeah. So I mean, and I know that like goes both ways. You know, a lot of people say, listen, you know, I don't really put, you know, too much thought into my dispositions. But for me, it's like I love selling sight unseen, and the less questions that they ask me, if I can go ahead and put it in my MailChimp and literally say, hey, listen, these are the comps, this is what it needs, and these are the reasons why. I don't get a call from, you know, how many investors call me and say, listen, hey, this, that, and the third. So if I can get an offer really sight unseen sold, it works better out for everybody.
Yeah. Then they can make a decision quicker. So
Yeah.
this is kind of how I do it, and you can kind of tell me how you do it. So with the MLS, of course, you know, I want the beds and baths to be the same. So I have the subject property. I know the beds and baths. I know the square footage. I know about how old the house is. I know the foundation type, the structure, whether it's wood or brick, you know, that matters. And then I want the same beds and baths, okay? Because a 2-bedroom is very different from a 3-bedroom, even if they're the same square footage, you know?
Yes.
Because buyers are looking, okay, who's going to sleep in this room? Who's going to sleep in that room? So same beds and baths is my subject property that I'm comping, okay? We do plus or minus 10% square footage. You know, you can go up to 15, like you said, but I usually go 10% above the square footage of mine and 10% below, okay? I usually try to do the same neighborhood. You know, usually the legal description is going to tell you that, like, that neighborhood, like blank addition, because even though it's in a mile square radius, sometimes it's a whole different neighborhood. And, you know, 1 mile or half a mile, you could cross the tracks. You already know what happens when you cross most tracks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I usually try to stay in the same addition, and then, you know, the house relatively the same age. And another thing is comps. You usually try to pull the last, you know, 60 days, but sometimes you won't have anything that, you know, I mean, it's sold that recent right around the house is. So you might have to go 90 days, you know, or and then you make your adjustments for whatever additives or whatever, garage, no garage, you know.
Yeah.
So what do you do? And that's
I do relatively the same thing. I do 15% instead of 10%. And what I mean by that is that I'll take, let's just say 1,000 square feet times 15%, which is 150, and then I'll subtract it, and then I'll add it. So I'll use those counts at like 850 and 1150 to be able to gauge kind of where I want. And I definitely look for bedrooms, but the biggest one for me is bathrooms and the type of home, like you said, is it wood frame or block. And the reason is because you can have literally 6 bedrooms, but if you only have 1 bathroom, that's not good. Right. So a lot of the times, if you look at the mansions or new construction, they put more bathrooms than they do bedrooms. So I always like to make sure, because sometimes if you have like a 3.5, you'll get more money if it's a 3.2. What I also look at is the county website. I look for the actual building map of the property, and if it has like a utility closet or, you know, different types of enclosures, sometimes you can kind of just go ahead and open that up and tell the investor, hey, listen, if you open this up, you can add that other, you know, bathroom, or you can, you know, save yourself this or that. And now your ARV can literally go up about 25 to 30%, just literally making the home a little bit bigger. Right. And you're able to do that literally from the county website, seeing the structure of what it is. And I really like to look at the county, because at the end of the day, if stuff is not permitted and you buy the property, the investor's going to look at that as well and say, hey, listen, if they don't approve of this, I got to knock it all down.
And that's also a good bargaining tip with the seller. Like, hey, I see this add-on right here. Was this permitted?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. So that always gets you a good price reduction. And the number 2 one is my price reduction that I use all the time is foundation. Like, we could talk about the floor plan, right? We could talk about the bedrooms, the paint, the roof, whatever. But there's nothing that you can say about foundation or that type of stuff, because it's just something to where either it's good or it's not good, right? And the floor plan as well. The floor plan, I mean, sometimes I start knocking on walls to see if it's, you know, drywall or not. I say, hey, listen, this is a low-bearing wall. I won't be able to do nothing with this. You know, I can't open this up the way I wanted to. And other properties in the neighborhood, and I, you know, sometimes I bring the comps or I email them to them before I go. So, yeah, I think that's, for running comps, it's like going to court, and you want to be able to have, you know your stuff.
So I know that kind of like holds a lot of people up. Like, man, how do I make an offer if I don't really know the ARV? So I can't even start to, you know, 70% back out repairs, back out assignment fees. So what is a quick way? Like if you don't have MLS access, you got a lead, you know, but now you're waiting days like, oh, let me get back and crunch my numbers. That ain't gonna work. You're gonna lose that deal. So
definitely not.
what's the quick way if somebody doesn't have MLS access or they don't have you know, a top shot realtor on their team that could send them comps real quick?
So to be honest with you, I use a calculator that's already like built for me. I have it at my disposal on my phone through Google Docs, and I have it on my Podio. But a quick way that you always want to know is honestly that you take the ARV. You want to go. I do about 7% for closing costs and commission, 1% for the front side, right, for when he buys it from you, and then another percent. It really rounds up to like 1.3, but another percent for when he sells it, right. And then I do around 5%. Now realtors are kind of giving up, but if you want to be conservative, you can do 6%. So I do about 7% for closing costs and commission. And then I do investors in my area, it might be different in your area, but investors in my area, they want to make around 12% gross. So I take that times the ARV, my renovation cost, and then my fee, and then that's literally what.
So you're calculating closing costs for your buyers?
Yeah, I calculate everything because I want to make sure it's a slam dunk deal for them.
Gotcha.
Because remember, my whole thing is the less amount of headache I need to provide to the seller for him not to back out on me as far as appointments with this or walkthroughs or group showing, the better it is for me. So I'm trying to be as conservative as possible for them. Right.
I mean, I like that approach, the fact that it will help your buyers make a, quicker decision. So what if you don't have your calculator built in your Google Docs?
Yeah, I mean, that's the way I would take
everybody else.
Yeah, I would take it. To be honest with you, I'd probably do around 70%. And then from that 70%, I'd anchor from that 70%. Whatever that amount is, I'll do 80% of that.
70% of what?
ARV.
So ARV from where? So what I'm trying to do is help the people that don't have MLS access or don't have the calculator that you have. If you were stripped of your MLS access and you're, and a deal came up, what resource would you use?
What would I do? So I mean, I basically will go on Zillow. I think the quickest ways is to go on Zillow, go on Redfin and Trulia, try to find the nearest comps. Also, I use icomps.com. And I try to find the nearest comps as I'm talking to them. So, guys, I think the art of cold calling as well is being able to multitask. Yeah. If you don't know how to multitask that well, I would try to start learning that because as you're asking questions, you want to be able to kind of look around. So, obviously, I would do what you're saying is what we spoke about, comping. But if it was a quick offer, I'd literally probably take around the ARV, whatever I thought the ARV was. So, I'd take 3 websites or 3 comps, add them all up, and then divide by 3. That'll give me an average of what I think the ARV is.
So I noticed because it's funny because you can actually go to Zillow and there's a place you can go to Zestimate and they'll tell you how their confidence factor in the Zestimate. And like our state is a non-disclosure state, so they don't really have access to that stuff. So our Zillow, but some Redfin, Trulia, some of those are accurate in some states, and ours, man, is way off, and it's usually way over, But you gotta look at that confidence factor. If you go to Zillow and you go to the Zestimate and you go to your state, they're gonna tell you 0 confidence factor or high up, because some states they give disclosures of closed comps. And again, you always really, when you're doing the technical way, to do comps, you always want to look at closed, not active. Active doesn't really mean nothing, just closed.
Yeah.
But I use, people do it I use the appraisal. I mean, of course, the appraisal, they don't take, the appraisers, they don't come into, talking about the county, they don't come into the house, so they don't know the condition. So I usually start there and then start backing stuff out, Yeah,
100%. I mean, I know sometimes as well, you can go ahead and if there's other renovated properties in the area, you can see if it was a reno. You can kind of just go into Zillow's previous history, and if they bought it for, $90,000, right, and sold it for $180,000. Obviously, that's an investor that flipped it, so that you can probably make anything. If you get it at $80,000, you can sell it at $90,000 to that same guy.
So somebody just said, don't look at Zestimate, just look at what sold, plain and simple. Well, true. That's what we want to look at. MLS sold comps, and we just went over the technical way, but everybody doesn't have MLS access just yet. So you got to use some other resource. We know we want to pull MLS sold comps, that sold in that area, same, but we shouldn't let that not, let us do a deal if we don't have access to that. You got to use something. I mean, I know a guy, he makes about 300,000 a year, and he doesn't even use any comps. What he just does is he knows his market, and he just say, well, I know what it'll sell for. Well, let me just subtract my assignment fee,
Yeah.
And get it under contract. I know it'll sell for 50,
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you gotta do it that way.
Yeah. It's like, people just kind of get so like stuck on the ego. Like, that's not how you do. That's not how you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know how to pull comps, it's like, but everybody is not, you're licensed too, right? You're a realtor?
Yeah. I'm licensed, yeah.
Yeah. And, I was a realtor at one point, Keller Williams, but, so there's a correct way to do it. But when a deal is on the line and you're new and you don't have access, use what you can for now, and then try to get MLS.
Yeah. I mean,
Zillow has sold properties here in Texas. So great. So just look at the solds for Zillow. Yeah.
I mean, I would agree with you 100%. As long as you're getting that deal under contract and you're finding the buyer, the end goal is the end goal, But like I said, I think for me, it's like
Zillow, Redfin. Look, we got people saying Zillow shows sold in Redfin. Because I use the MLS, But if I had to, I'm using Zillow.
Redfin, like I said, I use Property Shark, and then I use iComps, and those other ones are good for buy and holds. So obviously I wholesale rental properties as well. I use rentalmeter.com.
Yeah.
You use Rentalmeter too?
No, I just call a property management company and tell them where the house is, and because the property if you call, hey, I'm looking to buy a house right here, and I was looking to see, before I close, how much it would sell for,
Gotcha.
The property management company, they're going to be managing properties for investors all over the area. So, they're going to know what to rent for. So,
Bro, y'all giving some shit I never heard of.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, you need it at a deep, deep discount and be able to market it to your cash buyer. Any cash buyer that is putting money on their line, either it's their money or hard money, they're going to check their numbers. Matter of fact, their hard money lenders are going to check their numbers.
Yeah.
The hard money lender is going to check their numbers as well. So don't get too, caught up in like, I got to have the exact, numbers, because that's their due diligence to do. You just want to get it, at a great enough discount as possible, and ideally all in 70% when you hand it over to that, cash buyer. And in some markets, they pay more,
Yeah, 100%.
The whole point of that first topic was, man, don't let that slow you up, Yeah. You want to definitely just spending money on it or getting a loan, you could be off a little bit,
Yeah, 100%. So I mean, I think those are great ways. I never knew about the property management one, but that's a great way how to utilize that.
Yeah, that's super
accurate.
That's almost super accurate. Yeah, because they got houses on the books right now that are rented from, and they're managing for investors. So
yeah, 100%. So I think that's a great way.
So let's talk real quick about how to get started with a low budget, bro. I got some heat real quick, and I know you got some. Go ahead and talk about the ghost ad, ghost method.
So guys,
how to get started with a low budget.
Yeah, so if you guys want to get started in real estate wholesaling on a low budget, a lot of people always dwell on getting a deal, because if you have the deal, most of the time it's gonna sell, right? If you got it, if you did your your due diligence, you got it at a good price, you can get it. But I think a lot of people overlook the free stuff, right, and don't utilize it as well. So what we're talking about is
we're not gonna say drop for dollars today, because y'all know that. We're gonna give y'all some new stuff.
Yeah, we spicing it up a little bit. So
we're gonna spice it up.
Yeah, so what I used to do, guys, is called, and I still do it, it's called ghost ads. And you can do ghost bandit signs as well. But let's just say if we want to keep it literally on a low budget, it's called a ghost ad. Now, I know Max Maxwell has a video on how to be able to calculate the hottest zip codes in your area. And I think also the hottest transactions are probably the type of property. So what you want to do is find out where the hottest zip codes are in your area. And then what type of house is it that investors like to buy, and at what price point, right? So in my area, I know people like 3.2s and around 100,000 block homes. So I would go on Craigslist. Literally, I don't have to put up a picture or anything. I'll put up 3.2 block home in let's just say the zip code 32808, right? Needs work, etc. Right? And what you'll start seeing is that you'll start seeing investors actually calling you off of that ad trying to buy that property. You can go ahead and also do it on Facebook Marketplace, and it's basically the same thing. They'll start calling you, and what you tell them is exactly this. Hey, I just sold that property. I get 2 or 3 of these a month. Is it okay if I put you on my list? And you ask them a couple questions in regards to what type of house to look for. And once you start building up your list, you have now, let's just say, organic cash buyers that you have built up. Talk to them. You know exactly what they're looking for. And what you can go ahead and do is call every bandit sign that you've come across for in the last week, which are probably wholesalers in your area. You tell them, hey, listen, I have an extensive cash buyers list. If you need help moving any property, is it okay if I market your property? I can just go ahead and market it up, a couple grand, and literally sell properties for them. So if you sell, let's just say 2 properties for another wholesaler at $2,000, you just went from having zero marketing dollars to 4,000. And it's a real easy way to go ahead and utilize Craigslist, Facebook, and your phone for free.
So basically what he's saying is, I know you guys heard of ghost bandit signs where you have a bandit sign like posted with the ideal deal, like 3-bed, 2-bath, cash only, and then a phone number. And then when they call you, it's like, hey, we just moved that deal, but I get a lot of these. I get a lot of these. I'll keep you. You want me to keep your number so I can notify you the next one that comes up. And that's how you can kind of get those. That's what he's saying, get cash buyers. But look, instead of the bandit signs, you use free classified ads and do the same thing. So
yeah,
instead of going pay, a few hundred for bandit signs, you just post that same thing on a free classified ad.
Yeah.
And then,
and Facebook Marketplace as well. It's a great way to do it. Also, like I said, I think it's really good to be able to just do that type of stuff. Also, what you get to learn is how other wholesalers operate, especially if you're new. Yeah. You get to, and kind of what's the rules to the game, what you should do, what you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
And you kind of get to know your competition.
And that's been successful for you? You've closed deals like that, right?
Yeah. So, I've closed deals off getting cash buyers through that method. So, I was able to go ahead and get cash buyers through this method, literally, without having to, because, man, let me tell you, sometimes putting out the bandit signs in the hood at 2 in the morning, it get a little bit, draining. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and try this out, which is literally, I'm going to bait them. It's called a bait and switch.
Somebody just said, I use Facebook Market and my IM blew up. Really? Facebook Marketplace, I just sold a deal today. We're going to close on it tomorrow, $45,000. It was a hotel deal. It wasn't a wholesale deal, but guess what? I went straight to Facebook Marketplace.
There you go. So, and that's free. Was it free or they charged you?
It was free. It's funny.
Hey, so we got to keep it under
wraps. The lady wanted to give me money on the spot. They said, do I write you a check now? I said, no, that's not how it works. We're going to go to the real estate attorney or the title company. I don't want your money now. I said, I'll call you first thing in the morning. She said, do you have – that's crazy. So, it's
a great
Facebook
way.
Marketplace, man.
Yeah, it's a great way. And also I use Craigslist to find deals as well. I have it built into my Podio system, but even if you don't have it built into your Podio system, you just go on Craigslist and you know what a wholesaler sounds like. Most of the time they're trying to pitch something to you. So you can still host. It's kind of like cold calling FSBOs, right, for sell by owners. So Craigslist is a great way to utilize that. Also Facebook as well. I like to go into the rent, when people are trying to rent homes. And that could be a tired landlord. Maybe he's been trying to rent that property up there. You've seen that it's been up there for many days. You can call him and say, hey, listen, I got some cash for you, brother. Is there any way we can meet up and let's get this deal done?
A nice way to pitch that is seeing if they'd be willing to own or finance it.
Yeah, so, that's something that you have to.
Now they get the cash flow without the tenant problems,
Yeah,
so,
yep. So that'd be great for you.
I'm going to show you a guerrilla marketing technique. So if you are dead broke and don't have any money, right, and you want to start marketing, that's one way you can do it, right? You know, I told you I'm not going to give you driving for dollars, even though it works. But I know y'all ready to hear some new stuff. So the ghost bandits, the ghost classified ads like that, and then turn around and calling all the wholesale sign, the We Buy Houses signs in your area works. But look at this. Instead of, let's say if you don't have money for bandit signs, look, this is one way you could start. You make this on your computer. And notice what I did. Look, all I did was type We Buy Houses Fast Cash, and put your phone number. Of course, it needs to go to a Google Voice or Call Rail number. Google Voice, if you don't, Call Rail is really cheap, $30 a month. You get like 10 numbers, so you can track everything that's coming in. But if you don't, if $30 a month is tough for you, Google Voice number, and boom. So I basically, We Buy Houses Fast Cash, boom, and then you could just copy and paste, and then on your home computer, for free, of course, ink. And then maybe like, you know, print out like 100 copies, right? And that's going to be 200, and then just cut it in half. And then you'll get flyers that look like this. Okay. And then now you can get on your grind. You can go ahead and start putting those on door handles. So basically, instead of paying for your, let's say, door hangers and stuff, if you're just starting, if you don't have the money, you have to invest the time. You know, and if you don't, and you have the, you know, and if you have the money and don't have the time, it's leverage, you know. But if you don't have the money, you got to use your time. So you can make those flyers like that. You can go to Home Depot, put it on everybody's windshield or car door. You know, you could go to the hottest zip codes and you can put it on people's doors.
Yeah, 100%. You know? I mean, I agree. That's actually a really good way.
Look what I did. Go on your computer, right? If you check this out, if you just started and you went to you know, get some signs made, and you was trying to buy a few hundred signs, you're like, I don't have $400. Look, go on your computer and do this. You know, I just kind of, it makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes 100% sense.
Yeah, you print 100 copies, cut it in half, and now you got flyers.
Yeah.
Instant. You could have 200. You got 200 flyers ready for tomorrow, and you go out and you could go to those hot zip codes, or you could go to Home Depot, Lowe's, start putting them people doors. You can start dropping them at restaurants. You got flyers. Boom.
Yeah. Because
look,
you know what?
I forgot to add. Look, any situation, any condition, you know, and you can design it however you want. You know, if you want it color, whatever. So that's just another little way to work. If enough people see your message, someone's gonna call you. I got a house I'm looking to sell.
Amen. So that's great. I think those are both good tactics to use, man. To be honest.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah. And then if you don't have a printer, you could definitely go to Kinko's or your local library or something, and definitely go ahead and get those printed up.
Right. So you create it, put it on your little flash drive, and just say I need 300 copies. Cut them in half. You got 600. You could blanket a whole 5 neighborhoods.
Yeah, that'll be good, especially if it's a hot neighborhood.
Look, hit up Hood Walmart with a real estate ditty. Look, if you go to Walmart right now, it's 8:37. If you go to the Walmart in the hood, the whole parking lot is packed. Look, you hop out with these,
boom.
You didn't pay nothing. Every cart, every windshield.
Yes, sir.
That's called grinding, bro, for the low, right?
Yeah. You know who does that a lot? Tax services. They do that a lot. They go ahead. My boy owns a tax company, and he, I'm pretty sure he puts them all over. I've seen them on people, on people's windshield wipers or in their windows. So yeah, I think that's a great way.
Bro, it's cheap too, bro. It's like
or you can just grab a shirt, grab a Sharpie, put We Buy Houses on it.
Yeah, bro. So
if you're really that broke.
If you're really that broke. So another thing we want to talk about is seller scripts. I know you said you created some scripts. Y'all give Brandon, man, some love, man. Throw Brandon some hearts, because he told me, he said, bro, he said, I've been preparing for this live for like some hours. He made y'all a seller script and everything.
Yeah, so I'm gonna post it. Look, I'm gonna post it in the comment right now if you want to pin it.
Yeah.
So that's actually the Google Drive to the script. And it also has some links at the end. But this is like a very, very basic script that I gave. Everybody, you know, especially for everybody live, anybody that wants to use it, you guys can just click on that, copy and paste. And it's more of a cold calling script, you know, and you could just there's a lot of takeaways in there, so you can definitely learn a lot of stuff about how to honestly ask the right questions. So like I said, for me, it's something to where I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for the seller. I mean, for the investor to buy sight unseen. So
look what y'all get for hopping on and showing some love. Y'all get a free script.
Free script. There you go. And some links in there too. For y'all. Yeah, so there's some links in there at the end as well. We have propertyshark.com, UnitedStatesZipCodes.org. So I use UnitedStatesZipCodes.org, and it actually tells me what type of people. So it's funny because it'll tell you if it's a lot of Caucasian people, African American people, Hispanic people. It'll tell you the sales price. It tells you a lot just typing in this website. So it's in there as well. I use MailChimp. I don't know if you use MailChimp. You use MailChimp?
Yeah, not for real estate right now though.
Okay, so
I need to.
Yeah, so we use MailChimp. MailChimp is basically what we use to go ahead and send out our email mass marketing for our deals. And then I put in all-in dialer. So shouts out to Los, which is a dialer.
I'm so sorry. The link, I guess they can't copy it but I'm gonna get the link, and I wonder if I could do a swipe up, can I?
Yeah, you should be able to.
All right. I'm gonna put it in the stories, and I'm gonna put it in my I'm gonna probably, if I can, put it in my bio. We'll see. Okay. Y'all gonna get it. I promise. Y'all gonna get it. I'm gonna try to put it in the because you can add a link to swipe up. Yeah.
And then the other links that I put in there is Rent-A-Meter, iComps, Rebo Gateway. I use Rebo Gateway to get a lot of my niche list. And Citricato, I use them as well to get niche lists. So they're all in the Google Drive. And yeah, the script. I mean, we could talk about cold calling if you'd like.
So what's your style on a call? I just did like a cold calling live not too long ago.
Yeah, I know it gets a little repetitive.
It was some heat. I would say, man, let's see if we can answer some questions.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready.
Thank you. You welcome. You are welcome. So what y'all have questions with as far as, I guess, what we spoke about? Facebook ads. Somebody asked about Facebook ads. What about them?
Yeah, I do Facebook ads. It's really hard walking around in the house and trying to selfie stick yourself, and then you're like, damn, I messed up. I got to do it again.
Best software for skip tracing.
I'll let you answer that one.
Nah, go for it, bro.
I mean, yeah. So I use Need to Skip for batch skip tracing, and then for single skip tracing, I use LocatePlus.com.
Locate Plus. I never heard of that one. Okay. So Google Docs calculator. Somebody asked about that. I think that's something specific to Brandon that I think he had built. Is that in your Podio customized?
Yeah, it is in my. You want me to give you? I can give them a sneak peek of what it kind of looks like, not like the actual calculator. Hold on.
Okay.
While you bring up some other questions.
Got you. So, what's the best time to cold call?
Best time to cold call, I would say, is, to be honest, evenings and weekends. I know a lot of people don't do weekends, but that's the time that a lot of people aren't working. Also, what I think is very essential for you to have CallRail and CRM system is because if you call somebody, let's just say at 6 p.m., the whole week, every day at 6 p.m., and they're not picking up, it's obvious that they're just not available at that time. But you need to be able to understand that the CRM is built for that time stamping, you know, so you can kind of call maybe at 10 in the morning. Maybe they work night shifts and they're just not available at that time. Or maybe they don't do well with phone calls. You got to text them. Or email them, or whatever the case may be. So I think the best time is obviously throughout the evening and or weekends.
Okay. So somebody asked, so do you pay somebody on Craigslist to take pictures of your virtual contracts? You mean the homes? I'm kind of confused.
Yeah, I'm confused on that one too.
Foreclose on. What's the best time? What's the best calling system? Best cold calling system?
The best, as far as the dollar goes.
I guess that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as the dollar goes, I would say it's All In Dollar and Call Tools. I personally use calltools.com. But there's several out there. There's Mojo Sales. There's there's a lot out there. You kind of got to just go based off your preference and what you think is going to work for you and your team. I think that Mojo makes things very simple. It also has an app, so you can call off the app. But then again, Call Tools and All In Dollar, they have, the stuff that's very, very good for them as well. It's, you want to be able to kind of use whatever, floats your boat, to be honest, whatever you think is going to work for you.
Did I turn my screen around? Oops.
Yeah, you did.
My bad.
So yeah, I think that's as far as dollars goes, that's what I would recommend. And I know Mojo goes to like triple line dollars. So what that means is 3. It dials 3 calls to 1. Most of the time you don't want to go above that, but Call Tools and allinDollar.com, they can go up to as far as like 12 calls per agent at a time.
Okay, so this is for people that kind of scaling up and have a team. These features that he's talking about. I haven't got there to experience it. So somebody asked, is there any way to owner finance or wrap a subject to? Where a subject to actually is a form of owner financing. It really is, in other words, a wrap in itself. Okay, that there's a loan still in place. So once you purchase the property subject to, you can do whatever you want with it. So if you buy it subject to, you are the owner, and you can owner finance it, or you can wrap the mortgage. So yes, is there any way to owner finance or wrap a subject to? Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You buy a subject to, it's your property. It's just now there's a lien still on it. That debt is still on it that needs to be accounted for. So you buy a subject to, you can sell it on a lease option. You can wrap it. You can owner finance it to someone else.
What exactly? Could you break down what a lease option is?
Okay, so a lease option is basically when you don't sell the property, but you give someone an agreement or a fixed price on what they can purchase it at when they're ready to exercise the option. So, for instance, let's say I want to sell you my house for $100,000, but you don't have financing available right now. You can't qualify for financing, right? You give me $5,000, $10,000, usually 5% on a lease option. You give me, let's say, $3,000 to $5,000. Okay. You put down right now, so that's a non-refundable deposit, and that's your option deposit. And you lease the property like a regular tenant. And normally you're in charge of all of your maintenance. But as soon, I give you a timeline, let's say 6 months or a year, where you need to be qualified for a loan and cash me out at $100,000.
Okay, that makes sense.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, I forgot, I have a buddy of mine that actually, he cash flows short sale properties or pre-foreclosure properties. And what he told me that he does, so I guess here in the state of Florida, legally you can only do it 3 properties. But basically what it is that he'll do like a cash for keys. So if somebody's going through a pre-foreclosure, there's literally no equity at all. You're able to go ahead and
he'll rent the property while the short sale process is going on.
Yeah, and he said that sometimes, depending on what's going on, he can actually have the property for a very long time.
Yeah, like 2 years.
For 2 years, yes.
Yeah, so and you're just renting it out, and you're not paying the bank or anything. You just straight.
You just stay. Hey, you just getting off. You just getting off the bank. Yeah. So essentially, guys, what we're talking about is that, let's just say somebody is wanting to go ahead and get rid of the property, but they just want to sign over the deed. So what he does is they're still going to foreclose on the property, but sometimes it takes a lot of arbitration and mediation to do that. So what he does is that he basically gives him like
next level stuff you sharing. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he basically goes ahead and gives him like $5,000, right, for the house. And this only kind of, I mean, it works for certain stuff, but I would say the property has to be in good standing because you don't want to put money into it because you're never really going to own it. Yeah. But essentially, what he'll do is he'll just pay him $5,000. The guy will go ahead and sign over the deed to him, and then he'll rent it out for $1,400 a month or whatnot for the next 2 years. Sometimes he says,
of course, you would, disclose to the actual tenant that this is a short-term lease.
Yes, 100%. Yep. So he said legally
or
you can
month
have
to
3.
month. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's actually a hack. I forgot what it is, but sometimes he said that you can end up owning the property. You can get it over like as the judgment deficiency for like a way lower price or something like that. But yeah, he's made a lot of money off just cash flowing because he doesn't pay the mortgage, and obviously he's got the property. He basically bought a property for $5,000.
Yeah,
So,
that's crazy. Yeah, I've heard about that.
yeah. I just wanted to ask you because I know you're the creative finance guy. So I didn't know how.
I've never done it, but I had a high level mentor that told me about that being done and how in short sales or places where they're foreclosed on the property, but the seller has basically walked away, how you could do that. Because some sellers, we got like one of the fastest foreclosure states in the country, but some foreclosure states are long. The process is long.
Yeah, here in Florida,
and so the seller already is like threw the hands up, like, shoot, if I could get $2K, I wasn't gonna get anything.
Yeah, he says, I think his pitch is, hey, listen, I can pay for your relocation cost.
Yeah.
So listen, I'll pay for your first and last month lease of your new apartment because your credit right now is shot. So,
and you're not paying the bank anyway, and you
ain't paying the bank anyway. So yeah.
So let's see. Somebody said, what are the key questions? Let me see. Have you ever used vacant seller leads? I have not. Do you cold call on Sundays?
I personally do. To be honest with you, I do. I do early in the morning. But not for too long. We only do about 3 hours, just to go ahead and kind of not get too many people pissed off. But I think it's something about taking action, man. At the end of the day, if you want to make money, if you want to be successful.
There's some sellers that's not going to like it, and there's some sellers that want to sell on Sunday.
Yeah.
Some sellers are going to say, can you call me on Sunday or call me tomorrow or come see the house on Sunday?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Somebody said, what's a good, cheap CRM? Get a free version of Podio.
Yep. $30, $24, and you can just kind of create your own little template. Yep. 100%.
Okay. Let's see. I think somebody asked, let me see something about. What are the key questions to ask a seller when cold calling?
Yeah.
Obviously,
it's in the script.
Huh? The script. Yeah, he's giving a free script. But obviously, you want to see if they'll be interested in the fast cash offer. You want to know if they have any interest in selling. They're going to probably try to ask you to, what your offer is. Then you want to start digging deep on the condition of the property. Hey, Mr. Seller, have you done any remodels to the kitchen and baths in the past year or two? So another thing is, it's kind of different on an inbound call, but you really want to know why they're selling and why would they consider getting rid of it. When you can dig deep on the motivation, why,
timeline. Sometimes you need. So what I wrote down for that is usually what I ask is occupancy, right? And the reason why you want to know the occupancy is because you want to be able to know whether you have to show this property.
Accessible,
if it's occupied, it's going to be sometimes difficult. If it's vacant, you're good. And if it's, obviously a family member, then you're going to have to work with that as well. So I look at occupancy, ownership. So guys, sometimes the seller will tell you, hey, listen, I want $150,000 for my property, but they have a mortgage of literally, 120 and they want to walk away with $70,000. So that just doesn't work out. So you have to know, as far as the ownership, if it's right, if they free and clear or if they have a mortgage on the property and kind of work with Brian. I guess if you have any questions as far as subject twos or whatever you can do on that.
Another thing, you want to make sure you're talking to the decision maker or the owner of the property.
Yeah, 100%.
It might be someone that doesn't own the property, and now you didn't go. You wasted an hour talking to somebody that can't even make a decision with you because they're not on title.
Yep, 100%. And then I condition, reason, and timeline. So basically, same thing you said.
So somebody said, how do you tell a seller that a subject to deal would be the best course of action for that particular seller? I don't do that, and I never tell anybody that a quick cash solution is the best. I just tell them the value I bring and what I can do from it, and I let them decide what their best option is. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to coerce anyone to doing a certain deal, you know. I'm just gonna put all the facts out there, you know, and
let them decide.
And let them decide. And most
Yeah.
of the time, most of these sellers, their best option is going to be either sell it quickly for cash or to, you know, do some type of subject to. So I would say kind of get that mindset out as far as telling a seller that their best course of action is subject. I'm not trying to sell anybody on a subject to, you know.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of put it out there, and I'm, you know, I'm like, hey, would this make sense for you?
Yeah. I honestly, I just, well, when I go on the seller appointments or when I'm, you know, talking to them, I use the Triple C Smart Cash Offer, which Triple C stands for closing cost and commission. So I'm saving them on closing costs because most of the time I'm going to pay for them. Commission because it's owner to owner. And then SMART stands for save money and risk and time. So the risk is of you having to fix it. I'm buying it as is, so you don't have to risk any of your money as far as fixing the property.
No.
And then the time is that literally realtors, you know, we pass classes every day. There's realtors being made tomorrow. And sometimes you can sell your property in 3 days, or it can take, you know, 3 months. So by the time that you went ahead and let's just say took an offer a little bit less than what you wanted,
yeah, because
you
you didn't pay
the same, yeah.
Yeah, you didn't pay another few mortgages, you know.
Yeah.
So you gotta include that.
Yeah, and I tell them also
money
that,
you could have kept in your pocket.
Yeah, and I tell them that they end up netting about 98% of what I offer them, because literally what happens with traditional sellers that you pay for half of the closing costs, the time, and then the commission as well, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the times if you sell for 150, you ain't getting 150.
No, of course not.
Yeah, so with us, you get to net 98% about then, you know, depending on contingent upon taxes, liens, and stuff like that.
So yeah, so basically, I mean, just kind of letting the seller know the value that you offer and provide. Somebody asked about at what point should you get a CRM? Honestly, check this out. I usually say don't worry about all the little small stuff. Just kind of get to do a deal first. But a CRM, I would recommend just getting it when you first start, because you want to start organized. You don't want to have leads on pieces of paper and all of that. It's free. A CRM is free. Like something like Podio, the free version, it's free. So just get it right now. When you get off of this live, go ahead and go to podio.com and I think they got a few like wholesaler packs, investor. They got a few that's kind of customized, like that you know, to real estate, and you can start with something like that for free, so you can be organized.
Yeah. I think the most two essential ones is Podio and CallRail for sure. But I think Podio definitely, because like I said, you don't want to be calling somebody every night at 6:30 and 7, they're not picking up. And maybe they could work at night. So you want to try them at a different time, and writing notes and keeping notes and pasting them all over the walls, you know, it can get a little sticky sometimes. So I think a CRM would be definitely useful when starting out.
So someone says, how do you find buyers? You actually covered that as far as the ghost technique, but I got a video on YouTube, how to find cash buyers, like 5 different ways. This is a great video. I'm sure it got like probably 20,000 views. It's pretty good. So check that out. My first name and my last name is for the YouTube channel.
Oh, they want me to repeat the triple C's and the SMART acronym. So yeah, the triple C's is closing costs, CC, and then commission. So we're saving them on both. And then SMART stands for saving money and risk and time. So risk is obviously that we're buying as is. Time, because they don't have to, you know, go ahead and list with a realtor, and just saving them on all of these things. So that's kind of what I remember when I'm going on appointments. So
somebody said, how many calls should I be making a day to be effective? I'm averaging like 40 a day, but don't feel like it's enough. If you're by yourself and it's just you, but you're on a dollar, I think you should be hitting $100 to $200 a day. I mean, if you really want to go hard, like $400 to $500 a day, you know. But 40, okay, so that's when a dollar is really important. So if you're actually dialing a number for every number, you see what I'm saying, and then leave it, like that'll take forever. So so calling a couple hundred numbers, like the traditional way, dialing the phone number, that'll take you all day. That's when you maybe should look into a dollar. But if you can't afford it, you just gotta have to put a little more work. What do you think? How many dials should somebody be doing a day?
I think it's around
Really
300.
get some results.
Yeah,
Huh?
300
300
dials.
dials.
And when you're using a dial, you want to make sure that, so what you'll start noticing, guys, and I know there's not, I mean, I don't know if people use dollars a lot, but there's something called an abandon rate. And what that starts telling you is that either your phone calls just aren't good enough, or you've kind of exhausted that list. So once you go below around 5% or around there, you want to start either trying to find better numbers or moving on. But I would keep cold calling that list, and most of the dollars will tell you that abandon rate. And I'll keep cold calling that list, and you know, keep trying to fish. They say, I think 10% of data is literally exhausted even if you buy for the whole year. So a lot of the data that we use, guys, you know, it's good for a pretty long time.
So somebody said, how do you adjust the offers for the different types of buyers? What formulas are best to use for calculating these odds? That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that, because
I got bored.
people think that if you're wholesale, the only buyer you have is the cash buyer. Really, if you can ever get it into the retail buyer's hands, you're going to make the most profit. Because look, you got the seller, you got the wholesaler, flipping it to a cash buyer, fixing it up and flipping it to a retail buyer. So it's two middlemen. It's the wholesaler and the rehabber. They're both middlemen.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you can go wholesale to end buyer is great. So what I would say is for the end buyer, if you can get it in the end buyer's hands, you're basically selling it for retail. You know, because they're going to the bank and they're getting like a 95.5 loan product. Like they're putting down 5% and they're financing 95% of the value.
Yeah.
Or 97, like FHA, 3.5%, and they're, you know, 3.5% and like 97.
Yeah. I think it's also, so sometimes what I do is I have contingencies in my contract to where I will use the MLS for marketing, and I'll throw it up there on the MLS just to see how the actual property you know, does, how much traction I get.
That's gonna be the biggest. That's gonna be the biggest profits, bro. Every time.
Yep, 100%.
You just really got to know what you're doing, because a lot of agents are going, you can't do that, and then the buyer's agent's going to be confused. So you really got to know what you're doing and the proper disclosures.
Guys, so this is the calculator I was talking about. So this is, I just input the purchase price. This is just little stuff.
Dang, my bad. We got a minute and 50 seconds left.
Oh man.
The other buyer, though, I was gonna say, if it's not a cash buyer, it might be a landlord that's looking to buy it for a rental. So what you need to do, instead of doing it for the equity that they have in it, the percentage of equity in a deal, you need to be calculating their returns, like their cash on cash returns, and how much they're cash flowing. I'm gonna put that Google Drive link in there.
Okay.
For everybody to go and grab. Thank you guys for jumping on here. Dang. What's pinned on the comment? That's a seller script.
Seller script, yep, and some links. Some
very useful links. You want to tell everybody on the way out, bro?
Hey, I hope that everybody can go ahead and close their deals, and you guys are all in my prayers, and yeah, I mean, I appreciate you guys for having me. I hope you guys got some value from the live. On the way out, you guys drop a flame if y'all got anything new or anything that you think you could use. Y'all drop a flame if y'all got anything of value. Hopefully we shared something that could help somebody. And also, y'all go follow my man Brandon on Blue Notes. Blue Notes, y'all see his y'all see Blue Notes Inc. It said put this on YouTube. Put this on YouTube. And also, y'all check out my YouTube channel. I need like 50 subscribers to be at 20,000. That'd be cool. Damn, 20,000. Yeah, y'all follow my YouTube, Brian Iregbu. I want to get 20,000. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Thank y'all for the flames, and I hope some of that helped. And when y'all close some deals, I want to hear some success stories. We got to celebrate with y'all. For sure. For sure. Off, B. For sure. All right, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you. All right.